Hello everyone, welcome to Study Online and welcome to Python classes. Today happens to be the Python. Just give me a minute. I'll just display only my video. I think none of your video should be displayed. You need not to turn on the video. No one I'm telling. No need to turn on the video. Let me just clear this. Okay. Today how many sessions are done? Could you people please do respond? Today how many sessions are done? Guys, I want you to respond in the chat box. Today how many sessions are done? Guys, it should be very interactive. No one I'm telling. If you interact, you'll be able to understand in a very better manner. Trust me. Okay. Totally 6 sessions has been completed. Let me just do one thing. Let me just tell Python full stack. Okay. Under Python full stack, I hope you people are able to see the notes, right? Are you able to see the notes? Guys, please do respond. Are you people able to see the notes? Okay. Let me just come back to Python topics. I'll not revise whatever I have done in day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 like that. When it comes to day 1, history of Python, features of Python, let me just ask few questions so that I'll get the clarity whether you people understood the topic or not. Okay. Totally, how many features I have written? Just tell me the number. How many features I have written? If you just tell me the number, that's fine. Okay, very good. Very good. I think 10 to 11 features is what I have listed down, if I'm not wrong. Correct, right? 10 to 11 feature is what I have listed down. Similarly, who invented Python? What's the name of the person? Who invented person? What is the name of the person? Just check your notes and just respond. Who invented Python? Very good. Guido van Rossum. Guys, it is not God van Rossum. Guido van Rossum. Fine. And maybe these things is just to boost up your Python confidence. And history of languages. Assembler, I hope you know, to convert from assembly level to high level, to convert high level to machine, sorry, to convert assembly level to machine level, to convert high level to machine level. Similarly, when it comes to conversion of high level to machine level, there are two ways. There are two ways. Which are those two ways? Compiler and one more thing happens to be interpreter. And you people clearly aware of what is compilation, what is interpretation. Now, please tell me, is Python a compiled language or interpreted or hybrid? What kind of language is Python? I want a very quick response from your side. Oh, very good. Don't you think Python is a hybrid programming language? Python is a hybrid programming language. Why Python is relatively slow when compared to Python? I hope you know that. And don't you think all these editors I have discussed, if I'm not wrong, Sublime Text I have taught, and Python ideally I have discussed. An online editor, I hope already the day 1 itself I would have given the clarity. Sir, what about PyCharm, Anaconda, Spider? Sir, don't worry, I'll discuss all those things. And installation of Python, versions of Python, flavors. This is very important. Now only I'm telling this is very important. When it comes to modes of Python, totally how many modes are there? Could you people please tell me totally how many modes are there? 2 modes are there. Which are those? Script mode, interactive mode. I hope you know script mode means storing the file with .py extension, executing the file. Interactive mode, directly executing the file. Next, reserved words or keywords in Python. This is very important topic. Totally, how many reserved keywords are there in Python? Could you people please tell me? Very good. 33 reserved keywords are there. What do you mean by identifier? You know, it's just a naming convention. It's just a naming convention. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Guys, one more thing. Just for a couple of days until I create a separate Slack group. Fine. Please make sure that you will just check your mail. You'll just check your WhatsApp. Is that fine? So that you'll be getting a credentials there to attend the class. I hope everybody got the credentials, right? If I'm not wrong. Okay. Next, when it comes to rules of identifiers, totally how many rules are there? Could you people please do respond? Totally how many rules are there? Totally 5 rules are there. 5 or 6. As I remember, totally 5 rules are there. See here. Totally 5 rules are there. If I'm not wrong. 5 rules are there. Okay. Next. Installation of Sublime Text. Now, I want a very quick response and a genuine response from your side. Guys, if you are genuine, then you will enjoy the class. Then you will be in the flow. If not, trust me, it is waste of your money as well as waste of your time. That's very important. Not the money. It's waste of your time. Please tell me, how many of them installed Python? If you have installed Python in your laptop, respond yes. If not, respond no. Please be very genuine. Please be very genuine. Because if it is no, I'll give the time. Maybe by the end of the day or tomorrow, you should have installed Python. That's it. Okay. Can I expect everyone to install Python at least within tomorrow's class, before tomorrow's class? Those who are telling no, I think many of them are telling no. Okay, great. And now, how many of them installed Sublime Text? How many of them installed Sublime Text? How many of them are able to get the output print hello world? That's it. Not the actual code that you have written. Maybe you might have practiced at least. Are you getting the output of hello world? Okay, then that's great. And when it comes to day 5, I have started off with introduction to object orientation. And how many parts will be there for an object? How many parts will be there? Very good. 2 parts will be there. Has part, does part. Has part will be handled by data types in Python. That is what I might have started on day 6 if I'm not wrong. Yes or no? That is what I have started off in day 6. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I think when it comes to day 6, what I have discussed, I have just discussed platform dependent and platform independent. Python is platform independent programming language. I hope that clarity you have. And very important thing, you have written the notes along with the diagram. That's very important. Fine. Next, let's come down. Okay. Features of Python. I have discussed features of Python. After features of Python, I hope I have started off with data types. Under data types, please tell me, what is the first data type that I have started off with? I think one data type completely I have thought. And still, there are so many things that has to be taught under that. I will teach, like base conversion, all those things I will teach later. First, let's finish it off with the data types. Okay, now, please tell me, when it comes to PVM, how many segments will be there? Guys, when it comes to PVM, how many segments will be there? I don't think 4 segments will be there. But for us, as of now, how many segments are very important? But for us, as of now, how many segments are important? Very good. 3 segments. Where the code will be stored? Where the code will be stored? Within code segment. Where the object will be stored? Where the object will be stored? Don't you think the object will be stored within heap segment? Similarly, where the reference variable data would be stored? Where the reference variable data would be stored? Very good. Within runtime stack. If you want to fetch the address of an object, what is the function that is used? Guys, what is function, what is method, everything I'll teach you. You don't worry about that. From scratch to the next level, I will teach. But as of now, I hope in the diagram only I have given. What is the function that is used to fetch the address of an object? What is the function? Very good. ID function, brackets. Next, what is the function which is used to check the type of an object? Type means for which class it belongs. What is the... Okay, very good. Type function. I hope that is what I have discussed here. Now, let me be very clear. Fine. Have you given a try with respect to this diagram assignment, whatever I have told? How many of them done? Yes, please be very prompt. No need to lie in front of me. I'm not going to give you a prize and all. How many of them done with the diagram? If it is yes, respond yes. If it is no, respond no. Guys, treat me as your friend with some terms and conditions. That's it. Is that fine? If you are frank, trust me, I can help you out. I'll give you the time. I'm not saying, no, you haven't done the assignment, get out. No, I'm not that category of trainer. Fine. Always I would help you. I want you to pick up the pace. Fine. Okay. If you have not done, at least can I expect you to do it while writing the notes before tomorrow's class? Can I expect you to do that? If not tomorrow, just take day after tomorrow if you are busy. Okay. Okay. Now, let me just do one thing. Let me just consider the next day. What about the next day? Could you people please do respond? What is the next day? I think today's day. See, I took almost 20 minutes of time. It's okay. Because I just wanted to quickly recap whatever I have thought. That's the main intention. Okay, day 7. Guys, from now onwards, what I will do, if you ask me, I will not write the notes in OneNote. When it comes to the regular class, when it comes to revision, I'll come back after every 5 days or 6 days. I'll do the revision. Later, I'll paste the code here. Is that fine? That's why, because every time I have to change Times New Roman, all those things I have to do it. When it comes to revision part, I'll come to OneNote and I'll do it. But when it comes to writing the actual notes, fine. Let's stick on to Notepad. Will that be fine for everyone? As I want you people to respond. Will that be fine? I want you to respond in the chat box. Will that be fine for everyone? Yes or no in the chat box? Okay, cool. Now today happens to be the guys. Why? Because you'll understand. A notepad is having, guys, this is not a first batch that I'm taking. I know which will be useful for the student. Fine, 100%. I'm not saying I'll not continue writing the notes in the notepad. What I can tell, one note, I'll do it when it comes to revision. But the actual notes will be written in the notepad, where the font size, everything will be visible properly. When it comes to day 7, let me start off with the day 7. Before me starting with day 7, I want you people to tell me the answer. What is the next data type? What is the next data type? Think and answer. What is the next data type? Guys, I hope you have written the notes, right? That's the reason I'm asking. I know you have written notes. At least don't tell me no. Just for my happiness, just tell me yes. At least for my happiness. Okay, great. Float. Now, could you people please tell me for what kind of data we have to choose float data type? Could you please think and answer? For what kind of data we have to choose float? Just think, 100% you'll be able to tell the answer. I'm damn sure. 100% I'm damn sure you'll be able to tell the answer. For what kind of data we have to go for float? Guys, float, this is not the first time that you are hearing the term float. Correct, right? Already you might have heard about float. That's the reason I'm asking. Okay, very good. Integer, no, we'll not be storing the integer data in the float. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's take the heading happens to be float data type. Let's take the heading happens to be float data type. Before this heading, guys, the previously learned data type happens to be integer data type, if I'm not wrong. Yes or no? I hope you would have learned about integer data type, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, you have learned about integer data type. When it comes to integer data, we can represent the integral data in 4 formats. Sir, which are those 4 formats, sir? Decimal form, binary form, octal form, hexadecimal form. If I start in detail about this particular topic, you might be getting deviated from the data type. That's the reason what I'll do. Let me give you the idea about starting 14 data types. Then I'll teach this topic. Is that fine? Because it doesn't mean that I'm just skipping this topic. If I take up this topic, you might be getting confused. That's the reason I'm not heading up with this topic. Is that fine? But just for your reference, I'm just saying that integral data can be represented in 4 ways. Decimal, how I'll show it to you, don't worry. Binary, how I'll show it to you. Octal, I'll show it to you. Hexadecimal, I'll show it to you. Conversion of decimal to binary, octal, decimal. Conversion of binary to decimal, octal, hexadecimal. Conversion of octal to other format. All those things I'll teach you. Now let's stick on to the next one that is very important, that happens to be float type data. Okay, sir, what is float type data, sir? Guys, whenever you want to store decimal data, find decimal data, then we will go with floating point values. Is that fine? Or floating type data? Sir, best example, sir. Can someone tell me your weight? Can anyone tell me your weight? As I want you to respond in the chat box. No, just respond. What is your weight? Guys, don't think if somebody is asking your weight, you will be telling that your weight will be 78.9, because exact data you will tell. Correct, right? You'll not round up. Or if somebody is asking your height, the spelling might be wrong. I think height spelling, I don't know. Okay, height, correct. Yeah. If somebody is asking your height, don't you think you will tell 5.11, 6.1, something like that you will tell? Correct, right? Similarly, very basic example. Fine. If somebody is asking your CGPA, what you will tell? Will you round off the data? 100% no. If you round off the data, you know what kind of CGPA you will get. Don't you think you will tell 7.8, or I'm having 6.7, or I'm having 9.4? Like this, you will tell the data. Correct me if I'm wrong. Similarly, if somebody is asking your percentage, assume that maybe I know PU percentage or 10%. Don't you think you will tell your PU percentage is 86.78%? Like this you will tell. Now, don't you think all these data are decimal data? Will you agree with my point? As I want you to respond in the chat box by saying yes or no. Guys, one thing again and again I cannot tell. if you have laptop, please join the class from laptop. If you don't have laptop, then join the session from mobile phone. If you have laptop, I would recommend, or I would suggest, or I would force you to attend from laptop. Is that fine? And just have a notes in between the class. I might be giving some time to write the notes, and that's the reason. Okay, sir, if somebody is asking what is float type data in Python, when we should go for float type data in Python, your answer should be pretty simple. If we want to store floating point values or decimal values, we have to make use of float type data in Python. Is that clear? Now, let's do one thing. Let me just open the Sublime Text. Already I have considered two examples under data type. I have taken two examples. Now, sir, what about example number 2, sir? Because don't you think I have written the logic, but I haven't pasted here? Are you able to remember? I have written the logic, but I haven't pasted here. Correct, right? Now, when it comes to date, that is example number 3. When it comes to example number 3, please tell me whatever I'm writing is correct or not. Let's see how many of them will be able to understand. Directly, I'll be writing the logic. I'm trying to store 82.67 within a variable called as A. If I print A, I'll get 82.7. If I print address of A, some random address is what I'll be getting. But I want you to tell the answer. If I tell type of A, don't you think it will display class float? Will you agree with my point? It will display it as class float. Similarly, sir, can we store more number of decimal points, sir? Here only 2 decimal points, but can we store more number of decimal points? 100% you can store. Is that fine? As in case of Java, there is something called as float, double, and all. I hope if you're aware of Java, you know, right? Float, double. But no need to mess up with Java. Why? Because you're learning a beautiful language called as Python. Fine. You can store any data, if it is a small data or if it is a very big data, within float data type. If I print B, I'll get this output. If I check the address, some random address. If I check the type of B, float. If I say example number 3.py, if I execute, don't you think I got the output? Yes or no in the chat box? I want you to respond very quickly. Please do respond. Okay, cool. Now, let me just consider a couple of examples here itself. C is equal to 05.0000001. F, that means within a variable called as F, I'm trying to store 5685555 point something and all I have written. Now, you have to observe, is there any meaning for this 0? That's common sense. Is there any meaning for this 0? It's a minimum common sense question. 100% you will not be having any meaning for that particular 0. Is that clear? See, I don't have the meaning for that 0. Is that clear for everyone? And I got the output, random address, class float. And I want you to understand a very important concept. If you consider 2, 4, 6 data, it is displaying the 6 data. See here, if you consider 6 data, it is displaying 6 data. Now, if I scroll down, if I consider more than 6 data, what it is going to do? Don't you think it is going to round up the data to 5 decimal? Will you agree with my point? It is going to round up the data to 5 decimal. Although this is not so important, but be aware of this. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no in the chat box? So I want you to respond. Is that clear? Now, only once I'll show you how you have to write the output in your notes. Next time onwards, I'll not show it like this. Only I will paste it. Only once I'll show you how to write the notes. Is that fine? When it comes to notes, let's consider example number 3.py. Below that, I'll be writing the logic. But whenever you people are writing the output, please write the output like this. Put some arrow mark, write the output. And please tell me, in your laptop, do you think you'll get the same address? Common sense question. Do you think you'll get the same address? Yes or no? Very good. 100%. You will never be getting the same address. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no? I want a quick response from your side. Okay. From now onwards, guys, I will not do this. Why? Because it's waste of my time. That's the reason. Can I expect you people to write the notes like how I'm showing? That's why, because whenever you want to revise, trust me, it will help you. If you have written the output after every program, you will not be able to understand. Soon after writing the logic, if there is any print function, just put some arrow mark and write the output. So that whenever you're revising, you'll be having a complete picture. That's the reason. Is that fine? Guys, now I'm telling initial 1 week or initial 10 days, I might be going in a medium manner or slow manner. Fine. Why? Because I want you to get adjusted to the teaching style as well as writing the notes, everything. But once you pick up the pace, I might be increasing the speed. Fine. Okay, cool. Is there any doubt for anyone with respect to this program? Yes or no? Is there any doubt for anyone? Please do respond. Okay, now you have learned integer type data, you have learned float type data, if I'm not wrong. Correct, right? Both the things you have learned. What is the next one? What is the next one? Let's see how many of them still remember the next data type. What is the next one? What is the next one? Very good. Complex data type. The next one happens to be complex data type. The next one happens to be complex data type. When it comes to complex data type, I will teach what is complex data type. You don't worry about that. Before that, I want you to take down the heading. Before you take the heading, guys, have you written the notes till day 6? Have you written the notes till day 6? Yes or no in the chat box. Now, just do one thing. Don't write this example. Don't write means now don't write. Later you have to write. Fine. Don't write this example. Don't write this example number 3. Why? Because somebody might take 5 minutes. Somebody might take 10 minutes to write. That is the reason. What you have to do, please write down from here till here. Whatever the highlighted point that is there, can you write it now itself? Guys, can I expect you to write the notes now itself? Only the highlighted part. Okay, start writing. Start writing. I'll give exactly 2 minutes of time, not more than 2 minutes. I'll give exactly 2 minutes of time. Please be very quick. Guys, if you are done with that, please do respond by saying done in the chat box. Done, so that I'll understand that you have completed. Guys, I want you to write, simply don't tell done, done and all. Okay, okay. Okay, shall I proceed further? That is a complex data type. Shall I proceed further? Okay. Have you, or else, are you aware of complex type data anywhere in your life? Have you learned? Because I think in your engineering days, you might have learned, if I'm not wrong. Yes or no? In your engineering days, you might have learned complex type data. Correct, right? Okay, okay, good, great. Observe properly. Let's come back to guys. Now just do one thing. Just do one thing. After this, I hope everybody are able to. What I can tell. I think you are matured enough and you know how much amount of space it will occupy to write this. Leave sufficient amount of space to write this. Sufficient amount. Don't be conjuice. Leave sufficient amount of space. Leave sufficient amount of space. Once you leave sufficient amount of space, please take down the heading as complex data type. Just take down the heading as complex data type. Because I hope you got to know how much amount of space you have to leave, right? So here, example, I think 4 lines. I think half a page or like some 70% of the page is what you have to leave. Don't be confused. Okay, complex type data. When it comes to complex type data, if you want to represent the data in the form of real part and imaginary part, then you'll go with complex data type. That means this particular complex data type will be used to develop the scientific application or some electrical application or some mathematical application. That means if you try to store the data in this format, which formats are A plus Bj. A, the data will be real part data. B, imaginary part data. The value of J will be always square root of -1. You need not to worry about this as a Python developer, but be aware of this. Is that fine? Complex data type will be used to develop scientific application or mathematical application or electrical application. Now, let me not concentrate much about complex type data. Why? Because it will not be asked in the interview or you will not be interacting with this. That's the reason I'll not be executing in the Sublime Text. Directly I will write. Just tell me, are you able to understand or not? 3 plus 5j. Like this, the data will come. If you check the ID, some random address will come. And if you just try to check the type of A, it is complex. How many of them are able to understand? Yes or no in the chat box. Are you able to understand? There's no one I'm telling, nobody gonna ask you, or never ever in your life you'll be using this complex type data if you become Python developer, until and unless you start working on scientific application. A basic is what I have thought. Guys, don't worry, you might be thinking, hey, what this fellow is teaching only basics about float, complex and all. Because these are very simple. 35 hours of content is what I'm going to do for advanced data list, tuple, set, dictionary, string. 35 hours of content is what I'm going to do. I think you might have learned with all those things within 3 hours or 5 hours, right? Correct, right? Maybe in your curriculum, you might have learned for 3 to 4 hour maximum, or 10 hours is what you might have learned. But I'm going to explain that in detail. But basic data, whatever that is there, are not so much important. That's the reason. Okay, sir, what about the next one, sir? What is the next one? Could you people tell me what is the next one? I think you can respond in the chat box. What is the next one? Yes, after complex, what is the next one? Very good, very good. Boolean type data. The next one happens to be Boolean type data. Is that clear? Boolean type data. Now, Boolean type data is very simple, guys. True or false. For those two data, we'll categorize it as Boolean data. For me, if you tell true, I will understand true. For me, if you tell false, I'll understand false. But for computer, how it will treat? True will be treated as 1, false will be treated as 0. Is that fine? True will be treated as 1, false will be treated as 0. I hope it is clear. Now, let's see how many of them will tell the answer for this. Let me just do one thing. Let me just write down the code for that. Okay, Boolean type data, or few people might be calling it as Boolean data or Bool data. The allowed values are true and false. That's it. True will be treated as 1, false will be treated as 0. If you tell, assume that you'll consider example number 5. Assume that you'll be considering example number 5. And if you just tell print true plus true, what is the output? Let's see how many of them will tell the output. What is the output? No. Guys. For you, Guys, don't confuse between your what is that logic design, whatever you have learned. Fine, don't get confused. Again, I'm telling true means for you true, but for computer it is 1. Now please tell me, what is 1 plus 1? Tell me the answer. What is 1 plus 0? 1. What is 0 plus 1? 1. What is 0 plus 0? 0. Can I execute the code and let's check it out whether we'll get the same output or not? Can I execute the code? Okay, sure. Let me just come back to example number 5.py. Let's do one thing. Let's consider this. If I save, no issues. If I execute, don't you think as normal, as expected, we got the data 2110. I hope you're able to understand why it is 2110. That is 21110, like that. Is that clear for everyone? Yes, I want a very quick response from your side. Is that clear? I hope step by step you are able to understand, right? Step by step you are able to understand. Okay. Now something I'll include. Okay, sir. What you will include, sir? If you try to print the data, then directly it will take it as 1 0. But if you try to store, for example number 6.py. Okay, guys, now I'm not storing within a variable. Am I storing within a variable or directly I'm printing? Please do respond. Guys, directly am I printing or am I storing within a variable? I hope that much amount of knowledge you have, right, by this time. Don't you think I'm trying to print the data without what I can tell, storing within a variable? Now what I will do, I'll consider a is equal to true. Is that capital T or small t? Is that capital T or small t? Capital. Very good. Similarly, within B, I'll consider false. Now, if I print A, if I print B, if I save, if I execute, did I get 1 or 0 or did I get 0? Sorry, true or false? What did I got? Still, many of them might be getting confused. That's the reason I'm saying. If you directly print, it will consider it as 0 and 1. Fine. But if you try to store within a variable, then it will take it as a true. Is that clear? True or it might be false? How many of them are able to understand? How many of them are able to understand? Now what I'll do, again, let's see. This is a tricky question. If I tell A plus B, what is the output? I think by this time you should tell the answer. What is the output? Guys. I'm trying to display the data on the console. What is the output? See, this minute topic. Because many of them will be like, sir, I have seen YouTube videos, sir, Udemy videos, sir, Python, sir, I'm master, sir. Because minute points only will make a huge difference. Fine. If you try to print the data directly, you will be getting the output in the form of 0 and 1. But I'm trying to store this data within a variable. If I take up that variable, don't you think within a variable what will be there? Guys, please tell me what will be there here? True plus false. What is true plus false if you're trying to print? Do you think the output is true, false, or the output is 1? Now tell me the answer. 1. Okay, great. Is that clear? I hope you're able to understand. Are you able to understand? Yes, that's very important for me. Are you able to understand? Okay, cool. Now let's check it out. If I print type of A, comma, type of B, can we do in Python like this? Can we do it in Python like this? Can we do it? 100% we can. Observe. Class bool. That is, it belongs to Boolean. Fine. Now what I'll do? False is the data that I'm trying to store within a variable called as is married. Fine. If I print is married, let's say how many of them will tell? Will I get the output as 0 or will I get the output as false? Still, many of them are telling the answer wrong. Guys, if I try to store the data within a variable and if I try to print the variable, what is the output? Don't think it will not display 0 and 1. Rather, it will display the data false. Is that clear? And many of them are telling small letter false. It is not small letter false. It is capital letter false. See? How many of them understood? Yes, sir. Understood, sir. How many of them? Yes, please do respond. How many of them understood? If you're able to understand, please do respond by saying yes or no. Okay, now from now onwards, I will write the output here. Will you be able to identify for which print function what is the output? For which print function what is the output? Will you be writing the output in the format what I have shown? Will you be writing from now onwards? Can I expect you to write that? Please don't expect me to do that. Why, guys? Why? Because it will waste the class time, the class duration. That's the reason. I will consider, I think, example number 6.py. Example number 6.py. I will paste. Later you have to do it. Later you have to do it. Now, after Boolean data, what is the next type of data? Just check your notes and tell me. After Boolean data, what is the next type of data? As you know, what is the next type of data? Very good, very good. Is that bytes or byte array? Just check your notes. What is there in that? Just check your notes. Let's just check your notes. I'm really sorry, Dell. Who is that Dell? I'm really sorry. I'm removing you from the session. Change your username. Still, you have not listened to me and you haven't changed the username. Another next 1 or 2 minutes, you'll be removed. Once you remove, trust me, you'll again not be able to join this session. Now only I'm telling. Please join from the name, proper name. Okay, last 1 or 2 minutes, you'll be removed from the session. Okay, let me just do one thing, guys. Let me just do one thing. Let me just go to OneNote. Let me just go to OneNote. Okay, so that you'll get the clarity. What is the next type of data that I have written? When it comes to day 6, fine. If I scroll up, please tell me int float complex boolean is done. What is the next set of data? What is the next set of data? Bytes and byte array. What is the next set of data? Very good. Bytes and byte array. Is that clear for everyone? Guys, please do respond. Is that clear for everyone? Okay, fine. Dell, Tata, bye bye. Okay, after Dell, is there any person who have named incorrectly? You'll be removed from the session. Don't ping me in the WhatsApp later, sir. Why you have removed? After giving couple of warnings, also, if you're not following, nothing can be done. Okay, observe properly. Let's consider bytes and byte array. Let's consider byte and byte array. Guys, now I'm telling these two are not so important from the interview perspective, but I would like to teach this topic. Is that clear? These two topics are not so important, but I would like to teach this topic. Shall I start with these 2 topics? If you learn bytes, trust me, you'll be able to understand byte array. That's the reason. If you learn bytes, you'll be able to understand byte array. Shall I start? If you could respond, I can just start. Shall I start? Okay, cool. What is this displaying? Okay, no issues. Yeah, observe properly. When it comes to bytes, if you want to create a bytes data type, at that point of time, you have to compulsorily use bytes function. That's what is the function that you have to use? Please do respond. What is the function that you have to use? Please type in the chat box. Bytes function is what you have to use. Fine. Using bytes function, we can create bytes data type. Okay, next what, sir? Next what, sir? Let's try to create the data. Let's see how many of them will be able to understand. I'll just do one thing. I'll just go back to the Sublime Text. What is the example number? Please do respond. What is the example number? Don't you think example number 7.py? Guys, one day, what happened? From that day onwards, I stopped a very fast execution. Fine. What I used to do in the class, like control S type. Fine. For example, create a new file. For example, how to create a new file? Like this, I'll just create a new file. Afterwards, control S type. If I type example number 7, that's fine. Sometimes, I think in one of the class, what happened? I was about to type example number 5 or 6. I don't remember the exact number. What happened? Control S. Control S has worked, but yes, it has taken. But Control S it has not taken. I don't know what happened that day. I wrote the next thing. Example number 5. Maybe literally everybody were laughing. Fine. I was not able. Maybe it's not online class. I think it's offline class. It's an offline class. I was not able to see the projector. Simply, I was just typing. Fine. Everybody were literally laughing like anything. I got shocked why these people were laughing. What happened? Fine. Then I just check the code. That's usually what I'll do when I'm typing. I'll not see the screen because I'm damn sure whatever I'll be typing is correct. Now, but later on, I'll just take the time to save the file. Later, I'll just confirm, okay, whether it has saved. Then I'll start the coding part. Okay, let's come back to the actual concept that happens to be bytes data type. Whenever you want to store the data as a bytes data type, you have to use bytes function. Within bytes function, I will tell 10. Step by step, you have to observe. Now I'm telling. If I store within a variable called as A, if I print A, let's see whether I'll get the output or not. If I say if I execute, did I get the output? Yes or no in the chat box. Did I get the output? Because I want you to respond. Did I get the output? Yes, I got the output. Sir, what, sir? You got the output, but in different format it is showing, sir, as it will convert the data. Is that clear? It will convert the data into binary format. I hope you people are able to understand. Are you able to understand? As I want you to respond in the chat box. It will convert the data into binary format. Sir, how to see the data? Sir, how to see the data? I'll tell you, don't worry. By default, the indexing will start. Sir, what is indexing, sir? As if you want to see 10, if you want to fetch that 10, 0 will be the starting indexing. If there is multiple data, sir, can we store multiple data? Sir, 100% you can store multiple data. So here I'll just consider bytes data type, that is using bytes function we can create. If I tell 10, 20, and if I try to store within a variable called as B, I'm trying to store within a variable called as B. If I print B, let's see whether I'll get the output or not. Observe properly. If I save, if I execute, I'm trying to store multiple data, but something I'm missing. That's the reason it is telling boss type error. See, bytes function argument encoding must be str, not int. Sir, what, sir? We are not able to understand, sir. That means whenever you try to provide the multiple data for bytes, you have to make sure that you will store the data within square bracket. Sorry, correct, square bracket. Is that clear, guys? Please do respond. If you try to provide a couple of data or one or more, I think 2 or more data, then you have to use square bracket. Technically, will not tell square bracket, but as of now, I'm just using the term square bracket. But in case of Python, it is a list. Is that fine? Please do respond. What is list? Going ahead, you might understand. Not you might, you will understand. But as of now, just try to remember square bracket. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no in the chat box. If I save, if I execute, don't you think this data has been saved in the binary format? How to extract later, I will teach you, don't worry. But it has been saved. It has been saved. If you want to fetch this 10, please tell me. I want to fetch the data using indexing. Clearly, I only told the indexing will start from 0. Both positive indexing, negative indexing will be there. Positive indexing will start from 0. Negative indexing will start from -1. Please tell me, positive indexing for this 10 will be 0, 1. What about the negative indexing? Could you people please tell me the negative indexing? Negative indexing means from ulta. -1 will be the index for this. -1 will be the index for this. Similarly, -2 will be the index for this. Will you agree with my point? Because later for list and all, I'll write the proper diagram. But for this, I need not to write the proper diagram. That's the reason. 10 will be there in -2 position. 20 will be there in -1. 10 will be there in positive 0 index. 20 will be there in positive first index. Now tell me, if I tell A, sir, how to fetch the data, sir? Index of operator. If you tell variable, guys, if you tell variable and if you tell square bracket, then it will be called as index of operator. Is that fine? Maybe if you want, I can just tell here. I'll just tell variable. And if you tell like this, then it is called as index of operator. Index of operator in Python. That's what we will call in Python. E of 0, I will tell. E of 0, I will tell. If I save, if I execute, don't you think I got the data? Did I get the data? As I want you to respond in chat box. Did I get the data? What I was expecting? Did I get the data? Yes or no in the chat box? Let's see how many of them are having a few common sense. Did I get the data? Guys, I got the data, but did I get the proper data? Guys, 10 is what I have stored, right? 10 is what I have stored, right? If I print e of -1, if I execute, again I'm getting 0. Similarly, if I copy this, if I paste, there is no index called as 1. If I execute, 0. Sir, why, sir? Why? Because you tell me, now you have to tell me, guys, do you think bytes data type is used to store a single data or multiple data? Let's see how many of them will tell the answer. Do you think why basically the bytes data type has been generated or developed? Do you think to store single data or multiple data? I want you to respond. Single data or multiple data? I think by seeing the output, you got to know. As if it is single data, it will not be storing the data in the indexing format. Always the output will be 0. I hope it is clear. Never use bytes data type to store single data. Sir, what about multiple data, sir? You do one thing. I'll just tell print b of 1, 0, I will tell. Similarly, guys, will that be fine if I tell comma b of 1? I think multiple data I'm just trying to print on the console. We can do it like this in Python. I'll just tell -1. I'll tell -2. If I execute, did we get the proper output if we try to store multiple data? Yes or no in the chat box. I want a clear response from your side. That's why people will like my teaching from scratch. Whatever the knowledge that has to be given, everything I'll give. But you should be having a patience. That's very important. Guys, blindly attend the class for 1 week. Then ask the question for yourself whether you have a knowledge or not. Okay. Now, the main point what you have to understand, even though we can store a single data using bytes data type, but it is not recommended to do that. Fine. Whenever there is a multiple data, sir, can I store 5 data, sir? Who stopped you? You can store. Please tell me whether it is possible or not. Let's see how many of them will understand. Is that possible to store? I want people to respond in the chat box. Is that possible to store the data like this? Yes or no in the chat box. 23, 22, 56, 78. If you tell C of 0, 23 is the output because 0th position, first position, second position, third position. Again, ulta, -1, -2, -3, -4. What is C of 0? 23. What is C of 3? 0, 1, 2, 3, 78. What is C of -1? 78. What is C of -3? -1, -2, -3, 22. If I execute, don't you think I got the same output? 23, 78, 22. I hope it's clear for everyone. Is that clear? Is that clear? Now, this is very important. Is there any data which is being stored within the index called as 4? Is there any data that is being stored? As I want you to respond. Is there any data? No, there is no data, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. Fourth index, no data is there. If there is no data, you will get a scolding from PVM saying that, boss, index out of range, index is not there. Guys, from going ahead, if you are my student, you have to understand what type of error you will get, why you will get. Is that clear? Will you be able to understand? Okay, I'll comment. Why I have commented? Again, if I execute same error is what I'll get. That's the reason. Now, if I tell print C of -5, I will tell. Is there any index called as -5? Is there any index called as -5? No. Same error is what I'll get. Index out of range. I hope it's clear for everyone. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no in the chat box? Is that clear? Yes, I want a quick response from your side. Is that clear? Okay, let's do one thing. Let me just comment this. If it is error, let's not execute that. Okay, I'll copy this. I'll paste it as the output. Later, what you should do, don't write everything. There's no need to write all these things. Please write down these things. Now you might not be getting the clarity. What is this /x17 /x16? Why it is being stored? Which format? I'll give the clarity. But as of now, what you have to understand, we can create. Let's listen. We can store multiple data, or we have to store multiple data within bytes data type using bytes function. Within that, we have to provide the data in the form of a square bracket or technically list. And positive indexing will start with 0, negative indexing will start with -1. If you are able to understand that much, that is more than sufficient. As of now, is that clear for everyone? Yes or no? Step by step, like a LKG kit, I'm going. Still, if you're not able to understand, nothing can be done. Okay, shall I proceed further? Please do respond. Shall I proceed further? If you could respond, I can proceed further. Okay, just do one thing. No need to write anything. No need to write anything. Guys, just follow to what I'm telling in the class. Just follow to what I'm telling in the class. Okay, that's more than sufficient. Take 1 minute of time. Take 1 minute of time. Just glance. Glance means just see the code from line number 1 to line number 70. Just see the code. One person is asking, sir, what about the data? Guys, data will be stored. Data will be stored, but you can't retrieve the data. Is that clear? Is that clear, guys? Please do respond in the chat box. I want you to respond. That's the reason clearly I told. Bytes data type is not meant to store a single data. It is meant to store multiple data. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no in the chat box? I want you to respond. Is that clear? No, why means that's how they have developed. Okay, shall I proceed to the next example? Shall I proceed to the next example? Okay, great. Now let's do one thing. Let's consider one more example. I'll do one thing, guys. I'll copy this. I'll come back. I'll paste. Right now, I got to know that we can store, but it's of no use. It's of no use. Sir, is that possible to consider negative data, sir? Let's try it out. If I save, if I execute, example number 8.py. If I save, if I execute, is that possible to store negative data? Yes or no in the chat box. Is that possible to store negative data? As it is only telling, boss, value error. Last time we got index error. Now I'm getting value error. Guys, you can't store a value apart from the range 0 to 256. That's what the range of bytes in Python. See, -1 is below the range 0. That's the reason I didn't get the output. I hope you people are able to understand. Are you able to understand? Yes or no in the chat box. Are you able to understand? Let me just comment this. Let's consider one more example. I will take one. It will consider no issues. If I consider 257, will I be getting the output? Yes or no in the chat box. Will I be getting the output? 100% no. If I say, if I execute same error, boss, 257, it is out of range, boss. That is what it is telling. I hope it is clear for everyone. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no in the chat box. Is that clear? Yes, please be very quick. Okay, now tell me, is this correct? Whatever I'm trying to write. Only 2 data is what I'm trying to take. Is that correct? Now? No, absolutely. Is that working? That means you can consider 0 to 256. That means 256 is also not allowed. Is that clear for everyone? Please do respond. 256 is also not allowed. What you have to do, 0 to 255. Guys, they have given the range 0 to 256. Doesn't mean that 256 can be considered. 0 to 256. Same error is what I'll be getting for this. See here, copy this, paste. Let me just comment this line. Guys, I hope you're able to understand why I'm doing the commenting. Are you able to understand why I'm doing the commenting part? Well, because again, if I execute, same error will be displayed, right? That's the reason. Now it's working fine. That means the data has been stored. Sir, I want to see the data, sir. If you want to see the data, you know, B index of operator 0, comma B index of operator 1. If I say, if I execute, I got the proper output. How many of them understood? If you're able to understand, respond yes in the chat box. If you're able to understand, respond yes in the chat box. Okay, I hope you're able to understand, right? Example number 8. Now let's consider one more example. Example number 9.py is what I would like to consider. When it comes to example number 9, trust me, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Let's see how many of them will be able to understand. I'll copy the same data, whatever I have done previously. I'll paste it. Will I be getting the output? Yes or no in the chat box. Will I be getting the output? Yes, please be very quick. Don't waste your time. Will I be getting the output? 100%. 100% I'll get the output. If I tell 255, if I tell 255, that means you have to verify. If I tell 0, this data should come. If I tell -1, this data should come. And if that particular data is coming, you should come to a conclusion that duplicate data are allowed within bytes data type. That is what the conclusion that you should come. How many of them understood? We can store duplicate data, yes or no, in the chat box. Sir, why C of 356, sir? 0, 1, 2, 3. -1, -2, -3. That's it. We can store duplicate data. I hope it's clear for everyone. Is that clear? I hope you're able to understand, right? Now, you know, using positive index also you can fetch, using negative index also you can fetch, and duplicate data are allowed. The allowed range is from 0 to 255. That is 256 what we will tell, but 256 is not allowed. One more very important thing you have to understand. Is that possible to alter the data? Guys, please tell me what is there at C of 0? What is there at C of 0? 255. Instead of 255, is it possible to change 25, sir? As soon as you try to change the data, what error it will come? Type error. Boss. Yes, till now you have seen 3 errors. Index error, value error, type error. That means byte object does not support item assignment. Item assignment means you can't assign something once you create the data. That's it. That means you can't modify the data. How many of them understood? Guys, all this note point I'll give later. A proper notes is what I'll copy paste. But as of now, are you able to understand? Guys, you tell me. This is how a programming language has to be taught. I have to type in front of you. I have to execute. I have to show you all the possible ways wherein which what error you will get, what output you will get. Then you will be able to understand in detail. Simply, if I show some PPT, if I show some slides, will you be able to understand? Please do respond. Will you be able to understand? Simply, if I issue the Xerox notes, will you be able to understand? Yes, I'm just asking you people. Will you be able to understand? No, right? I have to choose some editor. I have to go in this particular manner only. Then only you'll be getting a in detail knowledge. Okay. Shall I proceed further? Maybe if you could respond, I can proceed further. That means bytes data type is immutable. Immutable means non-changeable. Once you create byte data type, you cannot change the data, you cannot delete the data, you cannot modify the data, you cannot add the data as well. That's it. I hope everybody are able to understand. 1 byte is equal to 8 bits. I hope that much amount of knowledge you have, right? Now, what I'll do, I would like to come back to the notes. In this notes, what I'll just give the note point. Bytes data type is immutable. That is, once we create bytes data type, that's a job done. We can't alter the data. That is what I have discussed, or that is what I have explained in example number 9.py. If I execute along with the output, I'll write. Just give me a minute. Guys, can I expect you people to write the output in the manner whatever I have told? Manner means, I hope I have just told one format, right? Will you be writing the output in that particular format? Okay, this is example number 9. This is example number 9. And the proper note point is what I have given. Next, let's consider example number 8. Let's consider example number 8. Okay, sir, what will be discussing in the example number 8, sir? When it comes to example number 8, copy, come back, paste. Instead of 9, I'll tell example number 8. That's it. Similarly, let me just check, is there any note point that I have to give? Yes, the allowed values for byte happens to be 0 to 255. Is that clear? As in general, people will tell 0 to 256, but the allowed value will be 0 to 255. I hope it's clear for everyone. Is that clear? Now let's consider example number 7. Let's consider example number 7.py. When it comes to example number 7.py, observe properly. Now I'm telling observe properly. Let me just copy paste whatever the example number 7.py. I think along with the output I have written. Yes, let's copy, come back to the notes, paste it. Okay, I want you people to write the output later by putting some arrow marks and all. Now, I'll be giving few points. Please tell me whether it is correct or not. Based upon the explanation till now, whatever I have given. Bytes function is used to create bytes data type. Bytes function is used to create the bytes data type. Observe properly. Every point in a single shot, that is the points whatever that has to be written. everything in a single shot I'm writing. Just tell me whether it is correct or not. It will preserve the order of insertion. That means the data would be stored in both positive indexing as well as negative indexing. Positive indexing will start from 0. Negative indexing will start from -1. We can access the data stored within the bytes data type using indexing. If the data, if it is multiple data, that's it. Bytes data type represents a group of byte numbers. The allowed values of byte happens to be from 0 to 255. Bytes data type are immutable. Immutable means non-changeable. That means once we create the bytes data type, we cannot change the value. That is what. Now, just do one thing. Till where you have written the notes, as I want you to respond in chat box. Till where you have written the notes, please be very quick in responding. Till where you have written. If I'm not wrong, don't you think you have written the notes till float? You have written the notes till float. Now what I'll do, just give me 1 minute. I hope in one page you can write it till complex. We can write it till complex if I'm not wrong. I don't know how much amount of space it is required. Guys, I'll scroll down. Can you imagine and leave sufficient amount of space? But I want you to write the notes for bytes now itself. That's the reason. Will you be able to do it? Okay. Will you be able to do it now itself? Or else later you will write. Guys, will you write now itself or later you will write? Which one you want? Now or later? I want you to write now itself. Trust me. If I made you to leave some sufficient amount of space, then you'll write. If not, you'll not write. That's the reason. As it's okay. Even though if it is taking 5 minutes of time, I don't care. I want you to understand the concept in a very better manner. That's the reason. I hope for this one page is what you have to leave, I guess, for complex. After complex, again, complex example as well as Boolean. Again, one page you have to leave. Totally 2 page. As you know, page means right? Until Boolean, you have to leave some 2 pages. After leaving 2 page, guys, somehow I think till here 2 page will be right. Guys, yes or no? If just correct me if I'm wrong. Why? Because even I know I have written the notes. That's the reason I'm asking. If you have taken the notes till here, please leave 1 page till here. Again, 1 more page from this example number 4 till Boolean example. Do one thing, take down the heading in the 3rd page. After leaving 2 pages, take down the heading as bytes. Take down the heading as bytes data type. Take down the heading as bytes data type. Below that, I want you to write these many points now itself. Will you be writing now itself? Guys, don't make me to turn on your front cam and write in the class. Will you do it? Guys, I'll make sure that you people will be working as a Python developer, like how I'm working. But I want a proper dedication from your side. That's it. Can I expect you to do that? Because I'm not saying some assignments, I'm not saying some new thing. At least write down the things. Okay, the time starts now. Give the heading as bytes data type after leaving 2 pages. Write down these points in your notes. Whenever you're writing, please read. Simply don't copy makika maki. Bytes, open bracket, close bracket. IS is USED used. Don't do like that. Read the sentence, write it. Read the sentence, understand, write it. Read, write, understand. Read, write, understand. Take 2 to 3 minutes of time, or if you are taking 5 minutes of time also, it doesn't matter for me. But please write the highlighted points. Okay, once you're done till here, just respond done in the chat box so that I can continue further. Meanwhile, I'll be on mute. And meanwhile, I want you people to provide the attendance in the link, whatever I'll be giving in the chat box. While writing the notes, first give the attendance, later you can just write the notes. Guys, still I haven't seen the attendance from everyone. Please do provide the attendance. Why? Because this is very important. Now only I'm telling. Later, don't tell me, sir, I forgot to give the attendance, all those things. Okay, if you're done by providing the attendance, and if you're done by writing the notes, well, still if you're writing the notes, sir, what to do, sir? Well, still if you're writing the notes, please don't disappoint yourself. What this fellow, if somebody is telling done, he'll continue. So because I'll not be seeing you people, right? As if I'm seeing your face or if I'm seeing you, whether you're writing or not, I can come to a conclusion that whether you're writing or not. But now I can't come to a conclusion. That's the reason. Even though if you are in between writing the notes, just do one thing, just halt. Later, I'll be uploading the notes. By seeing the notes, you can just write it down. Is that fine? Okay, okay. Shall I continue? Please do respond. Shall I continue further? Yes, I want your quick response. Okay, let's come down. Let's come down. Okay, now what is the next one? What is the next one? You have understood byte data type. What is the next one? Byte array. If you would have understood bytes, for me, byte array is not a very big deal to teach. Sir, why, sir? Why byte array is not very big deal, sir? Why? Because as I have told, the class time will be 1.5 hours. I hope I have clearly told, right? Yes or no? Many of them are thinking, sir, why you are extending? Guys, no. I'm not extending the class. Clearly, I have told it's a 1.5 hours. Before you joining the course only, I have told. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Clearly, I have told. Yes or no? So please respond for that. It's not a 1 hour of class. It's a 1.5 hour class is what clearly I have mentioned. As well, because there are so much of things that has to be covered. Fine. And one more thing, in between the class, if you feel hungry, fine, you can just listen to the class and just have your dinner. I don't mind in doing that. But one thing, just have a proper concentration. Don't look at the cricket match and attend the class. Don't look at some movie and attend the class. In your comfort zone, you can attend. Is that clear for everyone? Please do respond. Okay, now, if I would have explained bytes, byte array will not take much time. Byte array will not take much time at all. It's just a one example for me. Fine. Last 5 minutes so that we can just halt a technical discussion. I'll consider example number 10.py. When it comes to bytes, what is the function that has been used to create bytes? Could you people please do respond in the chat box? What is the function that we have to use to create the function to create bytes data type? Very good, very good, very good. Absolutely correct. Yes, I hope you people are able to see the screen, right? Yes or no? I hope you're able to see the screen. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're able to see the screen. Bytes function is being used. Bytes function is being used. Similarly, same thing, guys. Same thing. Whatever you have learned here, bytes function. Here also, single data will not be entertained. It can be entertained, but it is of no use. Here also, multiple data. But instead of bytes, you have to use byte array. That's it. Instead of bytes, you have to use byte array function. B small letter. Here also B small letter, A small letter. Be aware of this. Is that fine? Same 23, 22, 56, 78. Directly, if I print A, byte, the data will be stored in the form of byte array. And if I check the type of A, byte array, same positive indexing, negative indexing. 23, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, -1, -2, -3. Is that fine? Guys, I'll send the attendance link again. I'll send the attendance link again. But as of now, just concentrate. Will that be fine if I send the attendance link again at the end of the class? If not, I have just sent again. Just fill that. Yeah. Now, how many of them understood line number 8? Yes, sir. I'm able to understand line number 8, sir. You need not to teach, sir. How many of them? How many of them understood why line number 8 is gonna give you error? Similarly, why line number 13 gonna give you error? If I say if I execute, I got the outputs here. The data has been stored in the form of bytes within a byte array function. And all this data has been fetched using indexing, positive as well as negative indexing. Now, so then what is the difference between? So no data is present at the index 4. Guys, observe. I know no data is there. That is the reason you'll be getting the output as error. If you want to see the error, you only observe. I'll just do one thing. I'll just remove this. A of 4. No data is there. That is the reason it will scold us very badly, saying that boss byte array index out of range. Index error. Index is only not there. Data is only not there, then how can I give the indexing? Then how can I fetch you using the indexing? That is what it is telling. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no? No. At least now. Yes, I hope at least now you understood, right? Okay, okay, very good, very good. Now, when it comes to byte array also, same error is what you'll be getting. Same error is what you'll be getting. Sir, what error, sir? As everything here itself, I'll be writing. Let's see how many of them will be able to understand. In a single example, I'll be writing. Instead of bytes, we have to consider byte array. We have to consider byte array. Byte array. Same. Byte array must be. Byte array must be. Byte array must be. How many of them understood? Yes, sir. Understood, sir. You need not to execute, sir. We will execute and we will try it out, sir. But same output is what you'll be getting. Value error. Byte array must be in the range of 0 to 256. That's what you'll be getting as the output. That means it is also 0 to 255. If you want, I can just check. See here, if I execute, how many of them are able to understand by seeing the output? Yes, sir. I'm able to understand, sir. How many of them? Guys, are you able to understand? That's the reason I took sufficient amount of time to explain bytes. I'm not taking that much amount of time for byte array. So then what is the difference, sir? You please tell me, bytes mutable or immutable? Bytes data type is mutable or immutable? Tell me, please. Please tell me. Immutable, non-changeable. We cannot change. We cannot change. But when it comes to byte array, we can change. We can change. Please tell me, guys, what is there in? What is there in B of 0? What is there in B of 0? I want you to respond. What is there in B of 0? As I hope you know, right? You know the answer, right? 0 is available. 0 is available. Instead of 0, I want to store 99. 99. Again, I want to check the output whether it got altered or not. See, if I print B of 0, I know the output will be 0. If I change the data, it should be 19. Let's see whether it is possible or not. Is that possible to change the data? Yes or no? By seeing the output, I want you to respond. Is that possible to change the data? Yes, it is possible. One person is asking, sir, can we change the data using negative indexing? Why not? It's just a matter of indexing. What is there in -1? Could you people please tell me what is there in -1? What is there in -1? 255. I'll store maybe 7. I'll store. If I execute, don't you think the data has been changed? That means same thing will be applicable. Byte array function, that is byte array data types can be created using byte array function. Everything would remain same. Every point would remain same. But the only change that will be, it is mutable. Byte array is mutable. Bytes is immutable. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no in the chat box? I want you to respond yes or no in the chat box. Later. Will you be writing the output by putting arrow mark here? Will you be writing the proper output? Yes, please don't make me to copy, cut, paste, 100%. It's going to kill the time in between the class. That's the reason. Now, in a single shot, whatever the points that I have written like this, for bytes, same thing I'll be writing for byte array. Let's see how many of them will be able to understand. I will consider byte array, paste. Byte array data type represents a group of byte numbers. The allowed values for byte array happens to be 0 to 255. Byte array data type is mutable. This point you have to highlight, mutable. Byte array function is used to create the byte array data type. It will preserve the order of insertion. Both positive indexing, negative indexing will be there. And we can access the data stored, like both positive indexing, negative indexing, we can access the data. But using index of operator, we can alter the data. That is mutable in nature. How many of them understood both byte and byte array? Yes means respond yes. No means respond no. Be very frank. Because I like genuine response from your side. If it is no, I'll try to improve the teaching methodology. That's it. Okay. Let me, guys, last 5 minutes. I'll not speak anything technical. Let's hold the technical discussion here. Shall I speak 5 minutes non-technical? Only 5 minutes. Can you please allow me to speak non-technical? I think till now I haven't spoken any non-technical thing. Why? Because a few people will not be having this knowledge. That's the main intention. Guys, if I would have taken fine 100%, guys, be on the class. Don't get exited from the session. Be on the class. Now, Let's have an analogy from your side itself. Let's have an analogy. Offline. Similarly, online, I will tell. Online, I will tell. I think today I thought some content, right? Today I just thought some content. Let's do one thing. I'll just show the content, whatever I have thought. Fine, I'll just show the content. If it was offline class, do you think I'll be able to deliver this much amount of content? Yes or no? Please be very frank. Why? Because teaching is not a new thing for you. This is not the first time that you're learning. Will I be able to cover? Will you be able to understand? Will you be able to understand in offline? Never. Why? Because don't you think after every example, we should give the time for you to write the notes. You will slowly write the notes. Some people will not write, some people will not be interested. Correct, right? And one more very important thing, while writing the notes, you might get deviated. That's why, because human brain, including me, why? Because I'm also human. Don't you think a lot of distraction will happen if the trainer is having a dead time? Technically, it is called as dead time. Fine. Yes or no? Have you observed? Because of that, so many of the people will start lose interest. Hardly in the offline, you'll be attending 1.5 hours. Guys, the first difference, clearly I can differentiate. When it comes to content of 3 hours, let's take 3 hours. Don't you think I would have taken at least 2 hours, at least 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes. Content can be delivered within 1.5 hours in online. That is the beauty of online class. Yes or no? Please do respond. That is the beauty of online class. Because I'm not against offline or I'm not against for online. I'm just showing you the difference. That's it. Okay. If it is offline class, please tell me, waste of energy will happen. Sir, what kind of energy, sir? Because energy means so many energy are there. Fine. First one, your time. In order to attend 2.5 hours of class, that too, if you visit any offline institute, don't you think you have that too? If you're there in Bangalore, anywhere else, minimum 30 minutes to 1 hour is what you have to spend in order to go to the institute, come back to the institute. Don't you think one hour at least you will waste just to attend 2.5 hour class? You will waste 1 hour in traveling itself. Will you agree with my point? Yes, I want you people to respond. Yes or no? Please do respond. Whatever I'm trying to tell is that correct or not? 100% yes. You will waste 1 hour, minimum 1 hour, not to go and come back to your home. And one more thing, you will not be having a flexible time. No flexible time. Whatever the time that they will tell, you have to adjust and you have to go. But here flexible time is there. Yes, I hope you're able to understand. Yes or no? Similarly, if you want to visit an offline institute, please tell me, you will travel. Money will be included. I don't think somebody will jog and somebody will run and somebody will go to the offline institute. No, either you'll go via bus, car, bike, or taxi, whatever it may be fine. I think nobody will go via, what I can tell, flight and all, train and all. Don't you think minimum, if you go for an institute for 1 day, don't you think on an average Indian expenses is what I'm writing? If you have so many very good habits, then it will just keep on going. Or if you have a habits of having a chat or whatever it may be, don't you think outside food is what you have to eat? Why? Because you'll be in the offline class for about 4.5 hours, right? For traveling, let's take around 100 rupees. Because I think we are in Bangalore, we have to agree. If you're going via bike, I think none of the bike will give above 50 mileage, is what I'll assume. Daily 100 rupees per day, 100 rupees per day for traveling. Will you agree with my point? 100 rupees per day is what you have to spend for traveling. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might be minimum, it might be maximum. I don't know, but I'm just saying on an average. Okay. Next, please tell me minimum. I don't know. I'm just saying fine. 30 rupees per day is what you might be having a cup of tea or what I can tell. Maybe chats. Maybe because you visit the institute, right? Somehow you will have that cravings and you'll just spend. Now, please tell me, if you miss the class, will you get the recorded video? Will you ask the trainer, please come and stand, please deliver the content again? Can you ask the trainer? No, you cannot. No backup class. As here also, I'll not be taking one more online class. No, never. Don't you think you will get the recorded video as a backup? This video has been recorded. Don't you think if you see the recorded video, same amount of content will be able to understand, right? Because I hope you're able to understand from which perspective I'm talking. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. Just correct me. And for the full stack course, whatever you have taken, fine. Minimum, trust me, it will start from 40,000, 40K to 1 lakh is what you have to spend. 1 lakh is what you have to spend for course itself. For learning full stack first, that too, they'll not be teaching the content, whatever I'll be teaching. For the course itself, you have to spend 40 to 1 lakh, 40K to 1 lakh. And you have to go to that institute after your engineering, and you have to stay in the PG. You have to stay in the PG during your college hours. Never ever you can join any institute because timings will not be flexible for you. You have to complete your engineering. After engineering, you have to, guys, that's what, right? Correct. Just tell me, after engineering, if you didn't get placed from your college, after engineering, what you will do? You will join an institute 5 to 6 months. You have to take up the course and you will stay in PG. You will stay in PG. If you are staying in PG in Bangalore, worst case I'm speaking, including your daily expenses or whatever it may be, don't you think minimum 8,000 per month, 8,000 per month is what you have to spend? Yes or no? 8,000 per month is what you have to spend. Guys, these are the things that you are aware. I'm not saying a new thing. Already you people are aware of this. Just that I'm just making you knowledgeable. That's it. Next. Please tell me, if you join the course after 5 to 6 months, don't you think you should have got a job before you complete your graduation? 5 to 6 months, you're jobless. You're learning. You're in learning process, you're jobless. 5 to 6 months, if you're jobless means, don't you think you're wasting your salary? If you would have joined a company soon after engineering, you would have got a salary. That means, please tell me, 5 to 6 months, on an average, let's take 30,000 per month is what you might be getting. 30 into 6. What is 30 into 6? Okay, let's take 5 months itself. Assume that you'll get a placed within 5 months. Don't you think 1.5 lakh salary is what you have wasted? Please calculate this and tell me what will be the total amount that you'll be spending on yourself to update yourself. Because here also you might get a job. I'm not saying no, you might. Fine, let's calculate. Guys, I have a calculator. Or else let's do one thing. I think here only I have a calculator. Okay, could you people please tell me? I don't know whether calculator is displayed for you. It's okay, fine. Guys, first of all, let's calculate one by one. Assume that after engineering, let's take in the Ulta manner, or let's consider 100 rupees per day. 100 rupees per day. Assume that you'll be going for the institute Monday to Friday. Fine, Monday to Friday means, please tell me, 22 days, Monday to Saturday on the intake. 22 days into 100. What is the amount? 2,200 multiplied by 6 months. Don't you think 13,200 rupees you will be wasting in traveling? Will you agree with my point? For 5 months, 13,200 rupees is what you will be wasting on traveling. Similarly, daily chats, if I consider, don't say that, no, sir, I'll not eat outside. I know, including me, I know that. 30 rupees into 22 days, 660 rupees per month, calculated by 6 months. 3,960 rupees is what you're going to spend for chat. Next, let me speak about commercials. Why? Because we, as Indians, that's what we are much worried about, right? If I'm not wrong. Next, please tell me, you might be spending 40,000, you might be spending 40,000. Let's take worst case 40,000. As I hope I know which institute you people will go and join. In Kannada, I have a saying, I don't want to say that. Let me tell you the clear picture of the pricing. 55,000 plus GST is what you have to pay for Spider-Man and all. Fine. If you're joining there, let's take around or what I can tell. Can I consider around some 60,000? 60,000 is what you want to pay for course. 60,000 is what you want to pay for course. Next, PG, fine. You might be staying in your home, then it will be excluded. If you're not from Bangalore, if you're staying in a PG, then don't you think 8,000 into 6 months, it will be 48,000, approximately 48,000. And just because you didn't get a job soon after your engineering, guys, there might be some working professional who are attending the class, these things will not be applicable, or some of the points might be applicable for you as well. 1.5 lakhs. Now, please calculate everything and tell me what is the total amount that you're going to invest on you in order to learn something and get a job. Could you please calculate all the things and tell me what is the total amount? Let's please be very quick. Even I'm calculating exact amount. Guys, you will not believe. You have to do it. Then only you'll understand. Don't you think it is 75,000, 2.75 lakh approximately? Yes or no? Whatever the thing that I told, is that right or not? Guys, many of them were telling, sir, my parents are not allowing me to do the course, even though I'm interested. Show this analogy for your parents. Tell them, now, are you ready to pay this much amount what this fellow is asking? Or will you gonna lose this much amount? Clear picture. As I hope whatever I'm saying is correct, right? Guys, this is from commercial point of view, but when it comes to technical point of view, 2.5 hours content can be delivered within 1 hour 30 minutes. Similarly, there will be a recorded class. There will be a backup class. I'll just tell there will be a recorded class that will be available. And one more very important thing. There is no waste of energy. No waste of energy. No waste of energy. No waste of energy will happen. The only thing is you have to attend the class. And I would recommend not to use the headphones or earphones for 1.5 hours. I know I have taken extra 10 minutes, it doesn't matter. But don't use headset or earphone. Sit in a place where there is zero disturbance or there is some light disturbance in your home. Attend the class. Let your parents also listen what I'm speaking. Find no waste of energy. You need not to travel. Don't you think flexible time? Will you agree with my point? Flexible time is what I have started the class. Let's just do respond. Flexible time. No traveling. In your home only you can have snacks in between the class if you want. Coffee, tea, whatever it may be. And when it comes to course fee, what is the amount that you have to pay? Don't you think 14,000 is what I'm asking from you people? 14,000 is what I'm asking. That too, in your home you can attend. Now, please tell me, let me be very clear. Sir, what is the cost that we're going to invest, sir? 14,000 on the course is what you have to invest. That's the minimum invest that you have to do for yourself. Let's take, you people will, guys, I want to mention this. Don't depend on the mobile internet. Why? Because if you attend 1.5 hour of class, don't you think minimum 300 MB to 400 MB will be gone? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes or no? If you rely on the mobile internet, at least have 2 GB data per day. If you're getting a very good internet connection, if you don't have very good internet connection, please do one thing. I would request you, this is the investment that you're doing on yourself, not on me. Fine, second investment, whatever I'm writing, it's an investment that you're doing on yourself. Ask your parents, just tell them this, fine. Please have a very good internet connection. That means just have a Wi-Fi connection. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Nowadays, if you want to have 50 MB or 100 MB, whatever it may be, don't you think if you provide 700 rupees per month, I don't know the exact count because I'll be having different plan. That's the reason where my company will be paying for that. That's the reason. Guys, please tell me, minimum 700 rupees per month is what you have to pay. Yes or no? Minimum 700, 800, I don't know the exact amount per month. The basic plan where you'll be having a very good internet connection to attend a class and to practice the program. This is what the only investment that you have to do on yourself when it comes to online. Now tell me, because I'm not saying offline is also effective, online is also effective, provided if you learn from a proper person. That's it. And the only thing is, let me be very clear. What is the only very big disadvantage in online? Fine, if you should be having that self-motivating power to attend the class. Yes or no? When it comes to offline, just because the trainer will be standing in front of you, you'll be sitting like this. Yes, sir. No, sir. Like this. Correct, right? But when it comes to online class, it is your dunya. That means you will be having the complete control on your activities for 1.5 hours. That you have to take care. You should be having that maturity. Why am I attending this? What is the use of that? Now tell me, guys, offline or online? And one more thing, once you join the company, trust me, you cannot go and attend any offline in order to update yourself once you join any company. Now tell me, which one is best? Offline or online? Let me see the answer in the chat box. Offline or online? So many of your friends might be telling, right? Hey, no, macha, after engineering, let me enjoy this engineering days, golden days. Again, I'll not get. Let me go for offline. Take this screenshot, send it to them. Let them understand. Let them understand. And one more thing, if you want to learn from a best trainer, you need not to come to Bangalore. You might be there in Hyderabad. Guys, trust me, a couple of people are attending from Hyderabad, couple of people are attending from, I think, two people from Delhi. Well, they are my old students. That means, I think, I don't know, like from referral, they got admitted to the course. Okay, is that clear for everyone? Shall I hold a technical discussion? I hope I just took another 10 minutes to speak non-technical things. I'm really sorry if I have wasted your time. I really wanted to give the clarity. You are in the right hands. You are in the safe zone. That's what I wanted to tell. From tomorrow onwards, can I expect everyone to write down the notes? From tomorrow onwards, can I expect everyone to write down the notes? Guys, just give me 1 minute. Now itself, I'll share the drive link. Because I hope you made the drive link as bookmark. Have you made the drive link as bookmark? You know what is the meaning of bookmark? You know what is the meaning of bookmark? In your laptop, whatever the link that I have sent, whatever the Python full stack link that I have sent, there only I'll be uploading the notes until a couple of days. Okay, so regarding the access to website, I'll just give me some couple of days so that I can just upload. Could you people give me some 3 to 4 days of time so that I'll call you individually. Then I'll tell you what are the rules and regulations that I have to follow. Then I'll give the access. Until then, attend the class, attend the live class, and notes will be uploaded here itself. Just do one thing. I hope I have shared this link. If you want, now itself I can share. In the chat, I have shared. Open the link, bookmark. Bookmark means like this. Bookmark this page. If you open the tab, the bookmark will be there. You can just click on that and you can access. Day 1 to day 6 is available. Soon after the class, just give me some 5 minutes of time. I'll just go and drink some water and I'll come back and I'll upload the PDF. Is that clear for everyone? Yes or no in the chat box? Have you enjoyed? Even though I have taken 10 minutes extra or 15 minutes extra, have you enjoyed? That's the first thing. Are you able to understand? That is the second thing. Out of 10, what is your rating for the class? Let's see. If I have to improve, I'll improve myself. 100% I'll improve myself. Out of 10, what is your rating, guys? Still, so many of your friends are in a confusion state. 14,000 is a very big amount. Fine, my parents will not give. Sir, so many of the people, sir, my parents are not agreeing to give the amount. Guys, you have to convince, you have to tell them. That's it. You have to tell them. Guys, none of the parents will, what I can tell, stop you to attend the classes by maybe lakhs together is what they would have paid for college. Lakhs together. Correct, right? Lakhs together is what they would have paid. And if you ask them, if you're going for a trip, they'll give 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Correct, right, guys? You have to inform them it is for yourself, in order to update yourself, or this is the investment that you're doing on you. Ultimately, you will be paying the amount and I'll be getting that. Guys, don't you think? Do you think the amount that I'm charging for my schedule, for the income that I'm getting from my company, do you think that is the great income that I'm getting from study online? You tell me. Please be very frank. If I collect 14,000 from a person, guys, really you don't know for 1 hour what is the amount that I'll be getting from my company. Really, you don't know that. Fine. Why I'm doing this? First thing, passion should be there. Starting from the class till now, have you seen any changes in my voice module? 100% no. Have you seen that I'm stressed? No, never. Never you'll be seeing. For 100%, whatever might be the stress, even though I woke up at 5:30 early in the morning, just now at 7:50 I came to my home. I'll be taking the class. It doesn't matter. I'll be giving my 100%. Same thing is what I want from your side. Thank you so much. Let me just halt the technical discussion.